going on YouTube? Welcome back to Show and Tech. So about 8 to 10 months ago, I believe, I covered the Formuler Z Alpha and talked about the fact that this box right here was going to be one that closely rivaled the NVIDIA Shield for me in terms of its ease of use and just the overall quality. Now, Formuler has come out with a new box, this guy right here, which is the Formuler GTV. It looks great. It has a nice weight to it. I think it's gonna enhance any room that you put it in. And not only that, but it's running the GTV, Google's version of the Android TV interface that goes on these boxes. So Formuler boxes were already great, but now that they are harnessing the power of GTV, they're even better. So the same interface that you would have seen in this video up here from my NVIDIA Shield review is the interface that you'll now see on the Formuler boxes. So they're very intuitive, very easy to use, and extremely easy to customize. So overall, these boxes are going to be incredible with the power of Google behind them. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the Formuler GTV. So what you can expect from the Formuler GTV is that it still has the My TV Online 2 app, and I can't say enough about My TV Online 2. That's easily my favorite app to use when it comes to IPTV streaming, next to TV Mate, which is a paid subscription app. So for those of you who are just looking to get a box and get it going right away, then My TV Online 2 is perfect for that. Now, what you can also expect is the fact that this is a 4K media streaming device. So if you want the best quality in a nice, affordable price, then the Formuler GTV is for you. And speaking of the price, you can currently get this for $229 Canadian. In the US, the price kind of varies. I found it for as little as $199, but you have to kind of get it from different resellers, so you might find it for varying prices the more that you look. It features high dynamic range in terms of color, so HDR10, very high performance, so you've got 2 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM as well as 16 gigabytes of storage. If you want to expand that storage, it's got USB ports on it, so you can attach an external drive. Let's say you have movies or TV shows or music or whatever it is on that drive that you want to have readily accessible to your box, then that's always an option if you're someone that doesn't stream through Plex, for example. Finally, it features premium sound through Dolby. So if you've got a nice sound system set up in your house, then just know that based on the stream that you're using, obviously, then this has the power to enhance that as well. What I think is the most important is this guy right here, which is the GTV BT1. This is easily Formuler's best remote that they have released. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later in the video and show you guys a demo of how it actually works, but this remote is really incredible. The only one downside that I'll tell you about right now is that it does not have backlit keys. So if you're gonna use this at nighttime, you're probably gonna wanna get your muscle memory going to remember where all the shortcuts are and all of those fancy things, or just have a lamp on really quick so that you can see what it is you're pressing. I'm assuming that Formula is gonna come out with a second iteration of this and throw backlighting in there, but until then, that's really the only downfall of this remote. But enough of that, let's jump into the demo and a first look at the interface. All right, so once you've plugged in your Formula GTV, this is the first screen that you're gonna see. Now, this is actually my second time running this setup. The first time that you do it, you can fly by these screens because you're gonna have to update the firmware for both the controller as well as the box itself, and that's actually going to factory reset your device and bring you back here a second time anyways. So all you have to do here is on your remote that came with the device, you're going to hold the OK and the menu button, and it's highlighted there for you so that it's easy to see. So I hold that down for about 3 seconds, and as you can see, now my remote is linked to the box and we can start with the setup. Quickly set up your TV with your Android phone. Now, this is a feature that I am a huge fan of. If you have an Android phone, you already know that your Gmail account is going to be set up to that phone. So as a quick way to set up your box using the credentials from your phone, you can click continue on this step here. It's going to go through a series of menus where you're basically controlling your box from your phone, and it automatically downloads all of your information to the box as a quick way to set it up and get it on your Wi-Fi. If you don't have an Android phone, you can click on skip and then go through the process manually of putting in your Gmail account, jumping on your Wi-Fi, etc. Okay, so this right here, which apps you want to install immediately on the box. For me, I don't really care for VLC. You can leave it. The ones that I generally take off are Facebook, Twitter, because I don't know who would use that on their TV, Google Duo as well. You're probably not going to use that. And then I don't use Pia VPN, so I don't need that. And then TED TV and Balloon Pop, cool apps. I don't use them, so I just take them off so that the setup's much faster. So once you have this set up, this is what you will see. For anyone that's ever used a Google TV device, this probably already looks very familiar to you. If you've ever watched my video of the NVIDIA Shields, this is basically that same interface. So I like it because of how the information's laid out. So you can jump down here to Google Play and grab these apps if you want them on your box as well. What I typically do is I use a lot of YouTube. So if you click and hold and then press move, I just move that up to the front there because it's one of the apps that I use most. And you can see that now my Twitch streams are starting to load in as the apps continue to download and populate on my box. So regardless, if there's any strips here that you don't like or don't want to show up, you can click on this customize channels button at the very bottom of the screen. And then it just toggle switches for which ones you want to show up on the bottom and which ones you don't. So here's YouTube here. If I click on that, I can show what types of things I want to show up on that YouTube strip. So if I don't want to see recommended videos, but I only want to see who I'm subscribed to, I would just turn that off and turn subscriptions on and turn recommended off, or I could have both of them on. It creates two separate strips. So I prefer just to have the one, and you can see it updating there in the background. So if I back out, now I've got my YouTube strip down here, so I can quickly jump in and watch YouTube videos. And I really like how it shows the thumbnails here. You can set up your Spotify account to listen to music from your box. My Twitch is already active, and then whatever other apps I want to throw in. So like I always say, my TV Online 2 is probably one of my favorite streaming apps to use aside from TV Mate. I've already done a pretty extensive video on my TV Online and what that looks like. So I'm not going to really spend too much time in it here, just giving you a quick preview of what that looks like and how responsive it is on this box. So if I just jump out and go to a whole different group and watch another channel, for example, you can see how easy it is to navigate by going through the guide or just going straight through the groups like this. Super responsive, looks very clean. The EPG updates well. There's really not much in the way of negatives that I can say about the MyTV Online 2 interface. But again, I'll leave a link in the description as well as up in the corner, a little card for you guys, for those who are interested in seeing my full breakdown of MyTV Online 2 and all the things that you can do with it. Now, another cool thing that you can do with MyTV Online 2 is if you're not so much interested in finding an IPTV server that gives you live TV access and you're more so interested in, let's say, one type of show or one show specifically, you can find servers out there like this one where it has 24/7 channels of just one specific show. So for example, this channel here is running The Wire on a loop all day 24/7. Or if you have kids or something like that and you want to show them, I don't know, DuckTales running 24/7, then you have that option as well once it loads. So there you go. So there's lots of different types of servers out there for those of you who might be looking or not so interested in live TV. As we were saying, you want to find something like this where you're just interested in one type of thing. You only care about one show or something for your kids to watch or whatever it might be, or maybe even one genre of movie, and you just want to not have to pick when you and your girlfriend are on the couch. You just want to play something and go. Then you do have this option as well, which is also pretty cool and just something to keep in mind. And then with that, if you back out and actually look at your channels on the homepage, now you have this section down here of My TV Online that shows those channels that you were watching before. So like we said, if you have kids and they're always interested in watching DuckTales, now that shows up right on the home screen. You can just click on this button here. It brings you straight back into My TV Online. And then once it loads up, it'll start playing DuckTales from wherever it is that the episode is at now at this point. So a pretty cool feature to have, just so that you can kind of keep all of your ducks in a row, so to speak. Now, I also love how customizable this remote is. I've talked before about how much I really appreciate this remote and how it's my favorite remote out of any Android box to date. But if you take the time to go into the apps section and click on the Formuler Remote app, it opens up this app here. It's very easy to recognize which remote it is that you own. It's the GTV BT1. Click on that guy there. And now in this menu, you've got some information for you. You know that your remote is connected to the box. You can check your firmware. One thing that I love is you can check the battery percentage. So this does use 2 AA batteries. Very important to know what percentage those batteries are at. The TV IR brand we'll get into in a second. But if you look down at the setup hotkeys and setup TV IR controls, this is where this remote really starts to shine. So if we click on the setup hotkeys section, you can see here that it highlights on the left of your screen the 3 shortcut buttons that are found at the bottom of the remote. So a 2 dot, a 3 dot, and a 4 dot shortcut button. So if I click on this 2 dot section right here, I can choose what I want that button to do. No matter what app it is that I'm using. So for me, I like to make those buttons start specific apps. And as you can imagine, I'm a big YouTube fan. So the first shortcut I always set to my YouTube function. So to give you an example of what that looks like, if I were to back out to the main menu, and let's say I'm just messing around here and I'm like, you know what, I really want to just jump into the YouTube app. I press the button and boom, you see YouTube opens up immediately from wherever it was that I was looking previously. Similarly, if I wanted to open Plex, I could shortcut Plex open just like that. So it's really cool to see how quickly that works. Now, if we jump back into the remote app, so Formuler Remote GTV BT1. So I talked about the TV IR brand and how it says Philips there. So another cool thing about this remote is that it's a universal remote. It's able to control, you guessed it, your TV and the box at the same time. So at the top of the remote, you see that TV button next to the power button there as well. So you're able to switch back and forth between controlling your TV and controlling the Android box and using that power button interchangeably. So if I click on the setup TV IR control and I click continue here, it's going to ask what brand of TV you have, or you can just click on search. So let's say you had a Sony TV. You'd click on Sony. I don't obviously have one, but you click on Sony, you click test now. It's going to run the test and you'll see the volume change on your TV. It'll ask if you notice it. And this is very, very accurate, by the way. It'll ask if you saw the volume change. You would simply click yes. And then it would set up your remote to now control that Sony television. And this setup does not take very long. So I'm not even going to cut this screen. I'll just let you see how long it actually takes itself. So now we're successfully connected to Sony TVs. I can click back and then it updates here to say the TV IR brand is now Sony. So just like that, you now have the capability of controlling your Sony TV. So the volume on it, you can turn it on, turn it off. So lots of customizability with this. It's a very, very good remote. And so that's pretty much it. That's everything that you need to know about the Formuler GTV. Hopefully those demonstrations have answered any questions that you had about the device. But if you have any more, feel free to leave your questions down in the description and I'll be sure to answer them. So that's it from me. Much love as always, throwing up 2 of them, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.